So the tide appears to be turning for the David Letterman Magic Week, Close-Up Magic Week. I was pretty outspoken about the first day or two being pretty harsh, and I put some of the blame there on David Letterman for being a jerk spectator. However, I'm in a tough position because I also see it from both sides. My take on what happened this week is, when you're running a national television show, a national daily, high-rated television show like David Letterman is, your number one goal, and I'm sure all the pressure from everybody at the station and the network, is to keep the ratings high. And when the show's pace starts to slow down, you have to do something. And I think that's Letterman's number one goal at all costs, is to keep the pace and the funny in the show. And I think that's where the headbutting took place between sort of Magic, Close-Up Magic, and David Letterman. But I think part of that is also the material that was chosen. Like, all due respect to the entertainers, but the material that was performed on the show so far has been kind of slow paced, and it's the kind of thing where it would be fine if you were at a picnic table and you were doing magic for people who were hanging out and fairly relaxed and open to having a good time. But I think that the requirements change substantially the moment you're on a national TV show and there's time limits. And I think that and regardless of the show, being on a show, I think more specifically this show has a very fast pace. David Letterman is a pretty fast, quick-witted host, and when things start to slow down, he immediately catches on to that and needs to fill the space. Again, not even to comment on the magic or the material or anything like that. I think that was the number one problem from both sides meeting in the middle. I think that the material was maybe not the right material for the show, and that of course Letterman's number one goal is to keep the show fast paced. Now, could he have been more respectful to the magic? Yes, but again, that's not his number one goal, and so that is what it is, and that's cool. I think another thing that was interesting, and this is a great point. I was talking to Maxwell today, and he made a really good point that none of the performers so far have actually interacted with David Letterman when it came to doing the magic. It's very much a situation where they came on and just kind of pressed play, and just did their thing, but in front of him at his desk. And nobody so far has done anything particularly relevant to him, his interests, the situation, being at his desk, being on a show, being whatever. I mean, obviously the request on their part, I imagine, was to do close-up sleight of hand magic, but at the same time, there didn't seem to be any kind of relevance to the magic that was being done. Now, I did like what Johnny Ace Palmer did, where he got David Letterman actually involved in doing the cups and balls. I thought that was a great idea, and for Johnny, I don't know if that. I mean, I assume that's the way you normally do it, because that's not the type of thing that you decide last minute. You're gonna change things up for the David Letterman show. But it was great. It was a great choice of material. If you're gonna stick to some classic magic, the way that he was able to work that in with the show was great. And of course, the more busy you keep the host, the less time he has to think of sort of harsh cutting remarks or poke holes in your routine, etc., etc. I mean, that is, I think, obviously a huge part of audience management, no matter what you're doing, but in that show in particular. So that was a point from Maxwell that I really liked. So anyway, watch it, see what you think, post a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. So here's to hopefully a better next couple of days. Got Thursday and Friday's shows coming. I look forward to seeing those. Post a link to those as they, if you see them. I'm waiting for it to get posted to YouTube. So there it is. Talk to you guys soon.